Okay, on today's tutorial, we're going to continue on with the model that I've already drawn up in the last previous videos. On the last video, I had shown one of the 3D views up here in the top right, and I'm just going to show you a bit more on how to work in 3D today. And this is the organizer. And on the left side, you can have project map, or you can sort of move around independently. And this is your um, different side. I published and set over this side, if I recall the name correctly. And so I've got the front left set up there. And if I want to add some more views in, I can grab the generic perspective down under 3D here under project map. And I'd grab that generic perspective and I'd bring it over here by clicking and dragging it over. And then I'd rotate the camera to the angle that I like, and then I can rename that by right clicking, press rename, press tab, and press right in front right, and right click redefine with current window settings, and then I can click through these for a quicker view of where I want to get to in the model. This can speed up your workflow a bit. And I can continue going around the house in a clockwise motion. This would be the rear left, and I'll drag another copy over, rename, rear left, okay, redefine, and rear right, drag over. Sometimes it might sit out here, or it might actually not even be in that. So you might want to bring it into the folder. Then I'll go to the bottom, rename it, rear right, okay, redefine. Now you can click through and you're quickly at the different part of the house if you need to model on it. So this can speed up your workflow a bit. I like to do an overhead view as well. So what I'd do is click on the roof, press right click, layers, hide layer. Then I can hold the shift key and hold the ball in of the mouse at the same time. And then I can rotate around like that. And I can let go of the shift key and just hold the ball in of the mouse, and that'll go left or right. And if I zoom in or zoom out with the ball, and then when I want to rotate, I just hold that shift key in. The other way to manually do it is to right click and go to orbit. That'll give you the orbit symbol. Then you click and turn. I just think it's quicker to press escape and just to hold the shift key in and the ball of the mouse, zoom in and zoom out. And you can zoom in through the house and find different views. For example, if I want a quick view of the kitchen, because it can be a bit fiddly to come inside the house and get a good view. So you don't want to waste too much time doing it over and over again. So you might do it once. You would come in to the view that you want and then drag over the general perspective over to this side and rename it and name it kitchen. Okay, redefine. And so now if I want to go to the kitchen and work on it, straight away I'm there. And so back to what I was doing before, I want to do an overhead view now. So I'm going to right click on that and press layers, hide. That's going to remove the roof. I'm going to click on the gutter that I drew in and layers, hide layer, and same with the ceiling, layers, hide layer. And this one's joinery. I'm going to put that on bulkhead. So that removes that. And then I could zoom around, orbit around till you get a good view. Zoom into the desired view and then drag a general perspective over again. Right click, rename, tab. I put O/H for overhead. And I press redefine. Sometimes I shorthand write these so that you can view all of the name, because if you write a long name, sometimes it'll come across here and you won't get to see it. And it takes a bit too much time to move this each time to see what it is. So try to shorthand write things if you can. Speeds things up. So now I can click through, go to overhead, and straight away it's there. It's just quicker for me to to work on the model when those things are set up, and it's good when I'm working directly with the client. Just less time wasting in between. Now I'd go back to the kitchen. Remember, I changed the bulkhead to the bulkhead layer. Now if I press Control L and I find bulkhead, click the eye to show that it's on, and then press OK. Now it's showing. Then I'm going to right click and press redefine. So every time I click on it, it's going to show the bulkhead there now. Now I'm going to click on that, hold shift and click on all of them, right click, view settings. It's on various, and I've got mine set up to be on sales floor plan, and that's for 3D images. And press escape, and you notice the bulkhead disappeared. That's because the bulkhead's not set up to be on the sales floor plan. So I need to go back in again and show that and press update. And then every time I want to use the sales floor plan layer, the bulkhead will show up, update, okay. Now that's in there. And so then you can just orbit around in 3D. Now, if I want to put a different roof on, I can show you that in the next video, but that's just a little bit about orbiting around in 3D and creating different 3D views. Another thing you can do while you're in 3D is you notice there's a bit of shadow here. If you right click and press 3D styles, you can come through and you can change how this looks. Whoops, accidentally put the render on, click on that, don't save that. Back to this again, we'll go to 3D styles. You can go to simple shading, technical drawings, 3D window style. I like to work with colored and shadow. Detailed shading with shadows, that shows the shadows. 3D styles, no contours. I think that looks a little bit too computerized. So I like to see the black lines. Simple shading. White model. White model with shade and so forth. I like to use detailed shading with shadows. And so that's how you can change the different 3D styles. Another thing you can do is change where the sun is and where the shade is. So you can click on project settings, and this shows the angle of the camera. If I want to make that say 90, that's going to widen my viewing angle. If you notice the angle change, and I could do the same thing and change it to 120. Sometimes that's good. For example, if you're in a kitchen and you want to get more of a view, I'd undo the magnet so I can right click, project settings, 120. Notice how you can see more of the house now. The only issue with this, it sometimes gives you an unrealistic angle, and some clients can be a bit put off by the size and dimensions of things. So I like to work with 90 degrees as much as possible. 90, because that's still pretty realistic. Redefine. So with the shadow, you can change where that's positioned by right clicking project settings. You can even put the date and time in there, which we can cover another time. Otherwise, what you can do is up here on this picture, you can click on the sun, and that's showing the outline of the house and it's showing where you want to place the sun and where the shadow is going to be angled. So if I put it over there, press OK. Notice it's all dark because that's a late time of the day. And so if I put it back over here, OK. Project settings. Project settings. Project settings. I think it's because I've adjusted this here. So if I put that back to 45, that'll show that there now. Project settings, and then I can move this around to where I want to show it. And you can see the shade is changing. So that's how you can change the sun shadow positions. And I think that's all we're going to show. I'm going to show in this tutorial. I'll move on to showing how to change the roof and different facade features, changing wall heights, etc. in 3D. So for now, that's all for this tutorial, and I'll chat to you soon.